I'll let you get back to your seat before we start. Okay, so meeting called to order at 7:02. Please rise to salute the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could you do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Southwick here, Councilmember Maury,
Here.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley,
Here.
and Councilmember Moore is absent.
Thank you. First order of business is approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. You have copies in your packets for both of them. We'll do December 10th, 2024 first, which is our December business meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the December 10th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion, any revisions, additions, omissions?
Yeah, there was there was a typographical mistake
Okay.
in regards to parking signs and benches installed at the Perry's Mills parks. It should say new parking signs instead of no parking signs, I believe.
What page is it?
I can't tell you what page it is,
Okay.
but it has to do with Perry's Mills parking.
Okay. That was in the report then, I believe, right?
Must have been.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That would be under.
Well, page 4,
Yeah.
first paragraph, last line.
Yep.
Oh, that makes a difference.
Oh, no, the last bullet item?
It should say no parking signs?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that is correct, because those are, those no parking signs are designated to go on the fence on the roadside.
Okay.
That is correct. Okay, anything else?
That's all I saw.
All right. And we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, December 23rd meeting, which was our year-end meeting. Motion to approve is presented. I'll make the motion to approve as presented, I should say.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion, any revisions or changes required to this one? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now we're gonna begin the organizational meeting. We'll start with supervisors' appointments. Matthew Favreau, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Attorney for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, as per annual budget appropriation. Thomas Bernane, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Attorney for zoning and planning for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, as per annual budget appropriation. Chris Matat, B, and is hereby appointed Fire, Building Codes, and Zoning Enforcement Officer for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, at the salary set by annual budget appropriation. Julie Castine, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Registrar Vital Statistics Officer for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, at no salary. Julie Castine, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Water Sewer Clerk for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, at a salary set by annual budget appropriation. Julie Castine, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Planning and Zoning Clerk for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, at a salary set by annual budget appropriation. Janice Letourneau, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Marriage Officer for a term of 1 year expiring January 12th, 2026, at a salary set by annual budget appropriation. Charlene Sample, B, and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Youth Director for a term of 1 year expiring January 12, 2026, at salary set by annual budget appropriation. Sarah Gagnon, be and is hereby appointed Town of Champlain Budget Officer for a term of 1 year expiring January 12, 2026, at a salary set by annual budget appropriation. Motion to accept these appointments.
I'll make a motion that we approve these supervisor appointments as read.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Supervisor Committee appointment and designations. January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, typo, 2026. No, 2025, that's correct.
25,
I am sorry. Okay, the following appointments and designations are offered by Supervisor Thomas Trombley. Deputy Supervisor, Rick Hunter. Grant Commissioner, Rick Hunter. Deputy Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Water and Sewer Commissioner, Jason Borey. Deputy Commissioners, Brian Moore and Chris Matok. EDU Assessment Commissioner, Rick Hunter. Deputy Commissioners, Brian Moore and Chris Matok. Highway Commissioner, Jason Borey. Deputy Commissioner, Brian Moore. Building Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Deputy Commissioner, Brian Moore. Emergency Preparedness Commissioner, Rick Hunter, and Deputy Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Handicap Discrimination Commissioner, Brian Moore. Deputy Commissioner, Thomas Trombley. Town Policy Commissioner, Thomas Trombley. Deputy Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Landfill Commissioner, Thomas Trombley. Deputy Commissioner, Brian Moore. Board of Assessment Liaison, Brian Moore. Deputy Board of Assessment Liaison, Rick Hunter. Marketing Commissioner, Jason Borey. Deputy Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Zoning Board Liaison, Jason Borey. Planning Board Liaison, Dorothea Southwick. Land Bank Trust Liaison, Jason Borey. Harassment Officer, Sarah Gagnon. Fixed Assets Record Clerk, Sarah Gagnon. Cable Franchise Commissioner, Rick Hunter. Dog Control Officer, Jody Perrier. Fire District Liaison, Rick Hunter. Safety Officers, Chris Patat and Thomas Trombley. Parks, Recreation and Youth Programs, Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Deputy Commissioner, Brian Moore. Shared Services Commissioner, Dorothea Southwick. Deputy Commissioner, Jason Borey. Town Historian, Calvin Castine. Motion to accept these appointments.
Make a motion to accept the appointments as read by the supervisor.
Thank you.
I'll
Seconded.
second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Official newspaper, the Press Republican, Plattsburgh, New York. Be and is hereby designated the official newspaper of the Town of Champlain during the year January 9, 2025. Yeah, this is wrong. Okay, this time I have a typo. January 14th, 2025. Sorry we missed that. Through
January 26th.
January 13th, I believe it is, right?
I think so.
I think it's January 13th, 2026. We will get that corrected. All right. Motion to approve this designation.
I make a motion that we approve the official newspaper as read.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Town of Champlain meeting schedule. The second Tuesday night of each month, be and is hereby designated as the official meeting night of the town board during the year January 14, 2025 through January 13, 2026. And the time be at 7 p.m. at the town office, 10729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. Further, a copy of said resolution be forwarded to the news media and others having an interest in said meetings and requesting copies thereof, thereby notifying the public as required by law and in meeting the obligations of the Freedom of Information Act. Also, that said meeting dates be posted in one conspicuous place in the town as required by law. Note, the November 2025 meeting will be held on Thursday, November 13th, due to Veterans Day. Motion to approve this designation.
Make a motion to approve the designation of our monthly scheduled meetings.
I'll second that.
Thank you, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. 2026 Town of Champlain Organizational Meeting. The annual organizational meeting set for the 2026 official year and for the various appointments and committees be and is hereby scheduled for January 13th, 2026, and the time be at 7 p.m. at the town office, 10729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. Motion to approve this designation.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 Town of Champlain organizational meeting.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Zoning Board of Appeals meeting schedule. The third Thursday night of each month, being is hereby designated as the official meeting night of the zoning board during the year January 14, 2025 through January 13, 2026, and the time be at 5:30 p.m. at the town office, 10729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. Further, a copy of said resolution be forwarded to the news media and others having interest in said meetings and requesting copies thereof, thereby notifying the public as required by law and in meeting the obligations of the Freedom of Information Act. Also, that said meeting dates be posted in one conspicuous place in the town as required by law. Motion to approve this designation.
Make a motion to approve the designation of the meeting time of the zoning board of appeals.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Zoning Board appointments. Chairperson, Tracy Decos. Vice Chairperson, Kevin Hicks. Board members, Michael Tatro Jr., Natasha Nevis, Bruce Wallet, and alternate board member, Cody Seymour. Motion to approve appointments.
I'll make a motion that we approve the zoning board appointments as read.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Planning Board meeting schedule. The first Thursday night of each month be and is hereby designated as the official meeting night of the Planning Board during the year January 14, 2026 through January 13, 20. Whoops, another typo. All right, I went over this thing twice. January 14, 2025 through January 13, 2026, and the time be at 5:30 p.m. at the town office, 10729 Route 9, Champlain, New York. Further, a copy of said resolution be forwarded to the news media and others having an interest in said meetings and requesting copies thereof, thereby notifying the public as required by law and in meeting the obligations of the Freedom of Information Act. Also, that said meeting dates be posted in one conspicuous place in the town as required by law. Motion to approve this designation.
I'll make a motion to approve this designation of the planning board meeting schedule.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Planning Board appointments. Chairperson, Jared Cohn. Vice Chairperson, Julie Orr. Board members, Linda Armstrong, Carrie McComb, and Karen Thone. Motion to approve appointments.
I'll make a motion that we approve the planning board appointments as read.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Town of Champlain policies. The town board reviewed the following town policies: employee handbook, conflict of interest, code of ethics, sexual harassment, drug-free workplace, procurement, alcohol and drug, safety and health, investment. Note, I found this needs revisions, so I'm stating it here today that we're gonna put this onto our agenda. Revisions are required and they'll be addressed by a separate resolution once we correct it. Disaster response, hazardous material response, hazardous communication, water wastewater application and permit, water wastewater schedule of estimated charges rendered, and credit card policy. Motion to approve town policies as read.
I'll make a motion to approve the town policies as read by the supervisor.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 1 for official bank depositories. Whereas the town board has determined that the town law, Article 17, depositories and investments, subsection 4-65, statutory requirement designation. General municipal law, subsection 10, requires local governments to designate one or more banks or trust companies for the deposit of public funds. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board designates the following institutions as depositories of all monies received by the town clerk and tax collector during the year January 14, 2025 through January 13, 2026. Champlain National Bank, Champlain Branch Office, New York Class Branch Office in New York City. Section 2, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
I'll make a motion that we approve the official bank depositories as read.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 2 for mileage reimbursement. Whereas the town board is determined to pay a fixed rate for mileage as reimbursement to officers and employees of the town who use their personal automobiles while performing their official duties on behalf of the town. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board shall approve reimbursement to such officers and employees at the IRS standard mileage rate for 2025. And 2, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 2 for mileage reimbursement.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Resolution 3 for salaries for 2024. Whereas the town board has set the annual salaries and pay periods for elected and appointed officials and employees of the town as follows. Supervisor, $20,554.77. Period is monthly. Council members, $6,524.53 each, again monthly. Superintendent of Highways, $21,104.54 for the elected position and $48,409.70 for the full-time working position. They pay period weekly. Town clerk and tax collector, $32,738.12 weekly. Additional duties of the clerk, water and sewer clerk, $9,399.53 weekly. Planning and zoning clerk, $12,435.16 weekly. Justices, $37,429.26 each weekly. Marriage officer, $1,000 pay period annually. Youth director, $10,246.54 monthly. Board of Assessment and Review, the total board is $1,500, it's $300 each member annually. Codes and zoning officer, $46,775.96 weekly. Now therefore be it resolved, Section 1, that the town board shall approve said salaries and pay periods for such officers and employees as written. And Section 2, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
I make a motion to approve said resolution as written.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 4 for financials for 2025. Whereas in lieu of filing the town's financial report by the supervisor with the New York State Audit and Control, he is authorized instead to file a copy of his annual report given to the State Comptroller's Office within 60 days of the close of the fiscal year. And further, he forward a copy of proof of publication of said report in the official town newspaper when filing with the said Audit and Control. Whereas, Section 1, that the town board shall approve financial resolution as written, and 2, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
Motion to approve resolution number 4 for the financials for 2025 as read by the supervisor.
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Resolution number 5, for official electrical inspection services for 2025. Whereas the town board designates 3 electrical contractors as approved electrical inspection services to be used for building permits and code compliance. Now therefore be it resolved, Section 1, that the town board designates the following companies of the official electrical inspection service contractors during the year January 14, 2025 through January 13, 2026. 1, the TikTok Group Incorporated by Corey Boyer. Number 2, Commonwealth Electrical Inspection Services by Scott Decker. And 3, the Inspector LLC. Section 2, that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Motion to approve said resolution as written.
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 5, the official electrical inspection services for 2025.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Next, presentations, petitions and communications for the general public and the community. We don't have anybody here. So we'll roll into the report from the supervisor. Can I take a drink?
2.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year to all of you. It has been a very busy year indeed, and I am proud to report this team has been working very hard on our agenda for economic development. We have been certainly living by our mission statement to help develop community and work to foster economic growth. Period. With that said, just this past Saturday, I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony for a new restaurant in the village of Champlain. This grand opening of Mahoney's Hideaway, located at 127 Elm Street, Champlain. This is in the back of the old American Legion building. So congratulations to owner Joey Mahoney and the village for this addition. This is the 5th small business to open in the village in the past year. So that is awesome. Congratulations. The leadership team has continued to meet on average every 8 weeks. This has continued to build our relationship together as the leaders within this town. We continue to work on joint ventures and find solutions to improve our shared service agreements. We will continue to meet and find ways to be more efficient together. Again, this year we're entering the 3 shared service agreements. Code enforcement shared services agreements with both villages. Additionally, in this agreement is the sharing of the cost of our new code enforcement software, GovWell, which has added efficiency to the code enforcement officer's duty and also provided the ability for our residents to complete permit applications and payments online. And please note, I think I've said this before, but complaints for codes are able to be submitted on our website. For all complaints, please submit them online. This is a confidential form which is only viewed by the code officer. The 2 villages in town are also sharing a piece of equipment. A heavy-duty roller has been purchased this past year, and the cost was shared between the 3 municipalities. All 3 of these shared services initiatives have been approved by Clinton County and submitted to New York State for reimbursement of a portion of these savings through the New York State Shared Services Program. The Next Trex Plastic Program. Thank you to all who have been donating plastics to be recycled for this project. What a wonderful achievement by all of us for keeping these plastics out of our landfills. And thank you to Price Chopper Market 32 for sponsoring this. Please continue to save and bring in your plastics as we are continuing to collect for the Northern Tier Senior Housing's 2025 project. And we also have a collection box at Champlain Technology Group for those who wish to drop off plastic when they are stopping in to pay the phone bill. Thank you to CTG for this. Report on projects. Comprehensive plan revision. We just had a meeting on January 8th, which was a review of the data collected from the survey and the last community meeting. This will be posted within the project folders available through the link on our website. The next comprehensive planning committee meeting is February 12th. These committee meetings are closed meetings, however, there will be another open community meeting to be scheduled in April. The date is to be determined. The project timelines, meeting minutes, any public sessions, and general information on the comp plan are available through the link on our website. So please visit our website periodically to keep informed. Miramar Properties, the 19 acres with them all. We are currently in deliberations with the owner's attorney on forming a plan for redevelopment, along with the removal of this hazardous and dilapidated building. This seems to be moving in a positive direction. The 22 acres submitted for housing. On January 10th, I met with the consultants of Camoin Associates, whom are conducting the countywide housing feasibility study. This was to provide information that they required in regards to Miramar property in which they have targeted for this housing study. In a very positive note, I'm gonna typo. They did confirm that this site was chosen as one of 5 sites within Clinton County for housing. I'll report any further information as it becomes available. And it's positive. Bob Venn Fitness Center project. The DASNY review of our project has made a significant step forward. It has been approved by DASNY and the Ways and Means Committee. It is currently in budget review for final approval. I was told by Billy Jones at that meeting that we could probably expect it to be March for final approval. No guarantees, but based on where it is, he's thinking by March it should be through the budget review. Great Shazy River Project. Waiting for the feasibility study for dredging proposal from Barton and the Judas. Received an email this afternoon, hoping to get it next week. We should have the proposal, what the cost will be. Clinton County Health Department complete streets. There's work remaining to complete the following improvements to our streets and rec trail. The remainder will be completed in the spring and summer of 2025 as follows. Crosswalk at Church Street and South Street to increase safety for the pedestrians walking to Dollar General. Removal of the shared road markings on Prospect along the rec trail, and installation of new shared road markings will be added on the trail along Prospect. And no parking signs and benches will be installed at Perry's Mills Park. Elm Street Culvert Project. We are now ranking 6 engineering firms to be able to choose the highest ranked firm to move forward with the design stage. This will be discussed on our new business tonight. We expect to be under construction in 2026. Sewer District 7 project. We were just recently awarded an additional Water Quality Improvement Project, WQIP grant, for up to $5 million, in addition to the previous awarded WIA, which is the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Grant of $5.4 million and $5.6 million through the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the BIL. This is unprecedented, and the town of Champlain is extremely fortunate and grateful of these funding programs. We will begin a reformation of District 7 as the annual cost projected in 2023 of $1,200 per year is no longer accurate. The new annual amount is being determined, and there'll be roughly half that cost. Public announcements. If anyone needs assistance scheduling for RSV and or COVID vaccines, you may contact us at the Town of Champlain office, and we will assist you with the online process. The next defensive driving course is being held on February 1st, 2025. This will be held at the Rosas Point Civic Center Meeting Room. And again, thank you to Rosas Point for hosting this. Please visit our website and Facebook page for information on events going on around the town. And the town would like to appoint more alternates to the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board. Currently, we do not have an alternate in the Planning Board. So please consider serving the town in this capacity, as we need talented citizens of this township to become involved and assist us in moving forward. Please contact me if you have interest for details. I'd be happy to discuss it with you. Please note, please feel free to stop in. I'll be happy to discuss town's projects and objectives with you. My door is always open, but it might be best to call first. There are many appointments and meetings that fill my schedule day to day. And again, thank you to all veterans and active military men and women for your service. And also thank you to all first responders, both paid and volunteer, of our EMS and fire departments, and our police officers, for your dedication to your community. Thank you. That needs it there. Reports from the council members. Where do we want to start tonight? Rick?
Sure.
Nope, I should say Councilmember Hunter, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Champlain Fire Department, their new fire station is progressing, but it has slowed during the recent month due to weather. Also, the Cardanet Road dry hydrant has been postponed to spring, given the current weather conditions. Rouse's Point Fire Department has nothing to report at this time. Inside the village of Rouse's Point, just some dates to note. First of all, the 20th of January, of course, is Martin Luther King Day. The offices in the village will not be open. On January 21st, the village board will hold a meeting at Halsted Hall at 7 p.m. And also, because we don't meet again until later in February, the village of Rouse's Point will hold a second meeting on February 3rd, also at 7 p.m. at Halsted Hall. On January 28th, there is a Veterans Assistance opportunity available to veterans and their families at the Dodge Memorial Library. VA benefits will kind of be discussed, as well as providing assistance with any VA-related issues. If you're interested, you can call 297-6242. And on January 29th, the Library Book Club at the Dodge Memorial Library will actually hold their monthly meeting. They meet the last Wednesday of each month, and new members are welcome. I do have one thing to report in regards to EDUs. There was one EDU appeals form that was signed. It is a commercial appeal, and that will be discussed with those people in the EDU appeals committee. And this particular commercial business will receive correspondence indicating what our decision is at that time. Respectfully submitted.
Okay. Thank you, Councilmember Hunter. Councilmember Southwick.
I do not have much to report. There was a planning board meeting held on January 2nd. Two properties were accepted to be subdivided. Our next meeting is scheduled on February 6th if there are items on the agenda. Our Bob Ben Community Park sign is ready to go as soon as our property is ready to go,
Okay.
which would be later on in the spring or summer, I imagine.
Yeah, I would say it's gonna be in summer. Did you
So
decide the mounting? Because I went in regards to our town signs, and I think we wanna mount those with the aluminum angle iron, not the sleeves position, because of the wind.
Okay, I did not talk with Jessica
So-
about that, so,
We will have to decide if we're gonna do the same thing on those
Sure.
signs or not,
sure.
so,
No, I am to meet with her in January so that we can go over all of that.
okay. Because I'm waiting for proofs so I can talk to you guys about it,
Mhm.
hopefully at the next meeting.
And that's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilmember Southwick. Councilmember Bori.
All right, I'll start with the ZBA. Zoning Board of Appeals, they had a meeting on the 19th of December at 5:30 here. The board did review an appeals application that was submitted in October, and there was discussion, and the board did vote to deny the appeal and side with the decisions that had been previously made. So the next zoning board of appeals meeting will be on the 16th of January at 5:30 right here at the town office. That's Thursday. the 16th of January at 5:30 right here at the town office. Marketing now, just a general note for 2026. We're gonna continue a strong marketing campaign for the year. And we wanna thank everything that's being done here at the town office. Many thanks to Sarah for all she does. And thanks to Dorothea on the marketing committee and the supervisor for everything, as well as Boyer Benner Group and the work that they do for us. We're going to continue our campaign with, we have a lot of exciting things happening, so hold on, this year should be really great in terms of more information, more videos, more social media content, and hopefully more traffic. So just a reminder, please like and share our posts on our Facebook page as well as our Instagram. And of course, don't forget to visit our website to find videos, various links, investment data. The town code can be found there, our GovWell portal, and of course our calendar of events. So make sure to visit our website often. And just to note that the next time we get our marketing stats, they're going to include more of a breakdown per the request. So.
Specifically the economic development, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And if I could add something there,
Sure.
Jason, also in terms of, anybody that's in the community that has photos, as you know, with our comprehensive plan, we're
Yes.
looking for photos.
Yes, we are.
Please reach out to the town, let us know, we'd be happy to take photographs, as long as those photographs actually have who the person that took it and a time when that photo was taken.
Correct.
We should be able to use that to kind of further move our comprehensive plan down the road.
Right, and of course, we would like them digitally.
Correct.
And they are, vistas, for example, would be, maybe shots of the lake, shots of Point of Fair, I'm just giving some examples. Or events.
Correct.
Photographs of events and stuff would be good too. So yes, please, if anybody wants to share any digital photos they have, it is a requirement by Department of State that we have who took the photo and when. That's not our requirement, that is for the Department of State for the grant. I got one question, if you don't mind. Did you get a chance to find out if Chris could put the links to these testimonial videos and our interviews and stuff like that right on our website?
Yes, all of that can happen.
Is he gonna do that?
Yes, I get the impression that's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen, okay.
Yeah, I can just follow up, make sure that it's occurring,
Sounds good.
Hometown Heroes, we're still accepting applications for 2026, but it's, sooner the better on those. You can visit our website for an application or call Sarah here at the town office if you'd like a Hometown Heroes banner. And just anyone that has a current banner that is in a cycle of having gone through the 2 years, please be expecting a letter from the Hometown Heroes Committee asking what you'd like to do now that the 2 years has elapsed. So be on the lookout for that. Just a note, again, to contact our local JCO Champlain Outreach for any assistance that you may need, including HEAP, the Home Energy Assistance Program. It's obviously January, it's cold, and there are funds available, so contact our outreach here right in the village of Champlain. Just a comment about winter and the highway department. They're gonna be out there plowing the roads, salting, sanding. We've seen tremendous amounts of wind, it seems like this year, so a lot of wind. And if anyone is aware of the roads around here, there are some areas where the drifting just is quite significant. So give them space, don't crowd the plow, let them do their job. And of course, a huge thank you to what the highway department does all throughout the year, but during the winter months, allowing us to be able to get to our destinations because they keep the roads nice and clean for us, so, many thanks to them, yeah. Note, Councilmember Hunter remarked about MLK Day, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on January 20th. Just also note that that is a day of service. If there's an opportunity for you to volunteer in the community, please take advantage of that. Whether it's something that you just do on your own, whether it's picking up some trash that maybe you find, to volunteering, whether it's meals, go visiting some of our elderly residents, a day of service to honor his legacy. So. Another note here about winter, this will be my last thing. Winter recreation is alive and well here in the town of Champlain, from snowmobiling to snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, as well as ice skating at the rink. I don't know if anyone's ice skating on the lake, but maybe they are. Of course, ice fishing. Just have fun and enjoy, but also be cautious. Temperatures have been fluctuating, so be very aware that whether it's super cold or it's warming up, take note of how unstable maybe the conditions can be, leading to problems, whether being outside or being on the ice. Just take extra caution on those things. Enjoy, but be safe. So ends the report.
Very true. Thank you, Councilmember Bory. Report from the town clerk.
You have my monthly report for approval.
Anybody has
I
a
make a
comment?
motion that we approve the town clerk's monthly report for December 1st through the 31st. Total local revenue in the amount of $489.94. Non-local revenue was in the amount of $258.06.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Any further discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Usually who's my son copy, so I don't forget. Okay, review of post audit bills, the abstract. Standard as always, any questions? If not, we'll move on to approving the monthly bills. And we do have additionals to add. So I'd like the motion to be for, let's see, the bill report total was $166,705.50. With the additionals, the total is $175,425.87. And if you have any question on the additionals, one was Clinton County Treasurer, one was a James St. John for taking removal of beavers that were plugging a waterway, and then NICEAG and Stafford, Owens, and Renee. Those were legal notices in regards to zoning. Legal fees, excuse me, in regards to zoning. Yeah. Do I have a motion for that? And then we'll get any discussion. I think I had one that I highlighted in there. Yeah, maybe not. It's in the abstract.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bills as reported with the additions of $8,720.37 for a total of $175,425.87.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second that.
thank you. Any further discussion or questions regarding the payments? If not, we'll do a roll call, please.
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Lori,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Thank you, carries. Okay. Report from the code enforcement officer. You all have copies, if you had a chance to look them over. I don't have any questions regarding it. If you have questions, I may be able to answer them for you. At least 100% of the inspections passed. No questions? Speaking of the wind, Jason, there it is. All good? You as well, Jason?
I'm okay.
You okay? All right, then we'll move on. Correspondence, Charter Communications, and minutes from the planning board meeting, minutes from the zoning board meeting. I should give the dates. So, planning board was January 2nd, 2025, zoning board December 19th, 2024, they were both reported on. Information on Association of Towns for the annual training in New York, which we determined we weren't going to spend the funds. And then these are the, it's a report for the online payments, correct, Billy?
Yeah.
Some activity. Pages. Any questions on those? And then one additional that is not on there, came in late, was the EMS report, the December call report for 2024. Total calls in Champlain were 37, Moore's 36, Rouse's Point 14, for a total of 87. They also provided mutual aid to Rouse's Point once, and received mutual aid from Rouse's Point another time. For the year, total calls were 1,535 calls, 23,338.7 loaded miles, trips to the hospital. And the overall average response time was 2.22 minutes. From the time the call gets in to they're rolling on the highway. Awesome job. Now we go to new business. Take that back, I have one more correspondence I want to share with the board. So I gave you copies of the project update for sewer district number 7, okay? It's very similar to before, so the design stage is January 25 to December 25. Other things are taking place during that. But I'll read his email, because it kind of summarizes where they're at. So he says, please find the attached project update summary on sewer district number 7 for the board meeting tonight. Our main focus right now is to evaluate the collection system alternatives so that the board can select the alternative of choice. Once that is done, they'll prepare the map, plan, and report for the district formation process. So because I tasked them with making sure we're spending the money in the right spot, in other words, low pressure system versus good old standard gravity. That's what they're working on for us right now, to give us an actual cost of both those options and the O&M costs of both those options. If you look back in the report from a year and a half ago, the O&M was very close, and I questioned that, how it could be. It doesn't seem possible when you're talking probably 3 lift stations compared to God knows how many grinder pumps at each location, you know. So anyways, that's where they're at. They're completing that task as asked. Okay, now we can go to new business.
Now, just a
Or you
question
want
on
to-
that.
yeah, go ahead.
Just in regards to that current user rate, we should know before the end of January what that rate will look like, right? Because wasn't it January 20th that they were supposed to?
Well, we need that rate in order to form a district.
Yeah, because I thought there was something that I read that they were looking at deciding in the end of January. We're gonna
Yeah,
hear
it's
definite
like
from the state
state.
comptroller.
January 20th.
Oh, okay, so that's to find out what this year's cap is from the
Correct.
comptroller's office.
Correct, yep.
So yes, by the end of January, we expect to get that, I'm sorry. So we'll know what that rate is. Example, it might be $700 a KL.
Correct.
You know, if it is, we form a district at that just to cover it.
Correct. So we don't know that yet.
But we don't know that yet. Resolution number 6, which is resolution of the town of Champlain authorizing execution of a shared service agreement for code enforcement with the village of Champlain. Whereas the uniform shared services permits units of local government to share services for a particular purpose and to effectuate agreements for any service or circumstance that will aid and encourage a reduction of local expenses. And whereas the town of Champlain and the village of Champlain are public bodies, corporate and politic, of the state of New York and are authorized under New York law to enter into a shared services agreement pursuant to the act. And whereas the village of Champlain and the town of Champlain desire to enter into a shared services agreement for utilization of code enforcement services, and whereas representatives of the town of Champlain, the village of Rouse's Point, I got a typo,
Yep.
and the village of Champlain, I will fix that for you, Julie, have negotiated a shared services agreement and the terms of which are incorporated into the shared services agreement for code enforcement presented to the board with this resolution as if set forth at length herein. And whereas it is the intention of the parties that the new agreement will be superseded and replace any previous shared services agreements for code enforcement related services. And whereas it is in the best interest of the town of Champlain and village of Champlain to enter into the proposed municipal assistance shared services agreement as outlined in the shared services agreement. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Champlain, that the supervisor be and hereby authorized to execute the shared services agreement with the village of Champlain for code enforcement services in substantially the form of the shared services agreement. And be it further resolved that a roll call vote is carried to approve said resolution, and a copy of this resolution is to be given to the secretary of the board. Want me to do the roll call?
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the roller does not
No, this is for, this is
As a
just,
shared service, I'm just wondering, so the roller doesn't get included in this or is that roller just shared between Rouse's Point and the town?
no, this here is just for code enforcement, for.
Just for code enforcement, so it's nothing else other,
We did the roller resolution in 2024, I wanna say it was probably like November,
okay.
so that, yes.
So that will be renewed in November again,
No, I think we did
or was that a one-time?
yeah, and I
Okay.
think we might have,
Okay.
I don't think we had an end date on it. It's,
Right.
it's open-ended. We're gonna,
Okay.
we agreed to share that until somebody breaks it or we decide to break the agreement. But no, this is just for codes.
Okay.
Okay,
Do we need
I'll
a
make
motion first?
yeah.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 6 of 2025, authorizing the execution of shared services of code enforcement with the village of Champlain and the village of Rouse's Point.
No.
No, the
Town of
town of
Champlain.
Champlain,
Right.
my apologies.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll-
Jason, can we include, just so the public is aware, in terms of what the annual cost is and about how many hours? I think it's broken down into what, 8 hours per week, a total of 416 annual hours.
For Village Champlain, yes.
Correct, and the annual cost is $8,000.
Yeah, so moved with the added language.
I'm not sure where you got the 8,000.
From the,
No, it's $2,666.60, that's for GovWell.
oh, that's a GovWell
That's
I'm
for
looking at.
GovWell.
That's
The,
for
the,
GovWell.
it's the 4 quarter payments of the $36.43.12.
Yeah.
Right, which is $14,572.
Correct.
And
And-
48 cents annually.
Okay. It said,
And the GovWell is in addition to that.
I think it's important that our constituents understand how many hours that we're contracting the code enforcement officer with each of these municipalities.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. It's, I believe, 416
16.
annually.
Correct.
Julie, you want me to add the motions into this when I fix this tomorrow?
So it's 14,572.48.
Correct.
correct,
That's what I have.
yes,
Yeah.
and 416 hours for the
It's
year.
4 quarter payments of the 36.43.12.
So did you second it?
I can.
Okay, then roll call.
Councilmember Southwick?
Aye.
Councilmember Bory?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter?
All right.
Supervisor Trombley?
Aye. And now therefore be it further resolved, this resolution will take effect immediately. Okay, so that's that one, I'll make those changes. Sorry for that typo. What happens when you cut and paste? Resolution number 7 of 2025. Resolution of the Town of Champlain authorizing execution of shared service agreement for code enforcement with the Village of Rouse's Point. Whereas the Uniform Shared Services permits units of local government to share services for a particular purpose and to effectuate agreements for any service or circumstance that will aid and encourage a reduction of local expenses. And whereas the Town of Champlain, did I fix these up or what? And the Village of Rouse's Point are public bodies, corporate and politic, of the state of New York and are authorized under New York law to enter into a shared services agreement pursuant to the act. And whereas the Village of Rouse's Point and the Town of Champlain desire to enter into a shared services agreement for utilization of code enforcement services. And whereas representatives of the Town of Champlain and the Village of Rouse's Point have negotiated a shared services agreement and the terms of which are incorporated into the shared services agreement for code enforcement. Presented to the board with this resolution as set forth, as if set forth at length herein. Whereas it is the intention of the parties that the new agreement will be superseded and replace any previous shared services agreements for code enforcement related services. And whereas it is in the best interest of the Town of Champlain and the Village of Rouse's Point to enter into the proposed municipal assistance shared services agreement as outlined in the shared services agreement attached. And now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Champlain that the supervisor be and hereby authorized to execute the shared services agreement within the village, with the village of Rouse's Point for code enforcement services in substantially the form of the shared services agreement. And that agreement is for, my hours.
832 hours.
Correct.
Correct.
16 hours a week.
Yep, 832 hours annually, for a total of $29,114.96. And be it further resolved that a roll call vote is carried to approve said resolution, and a copy of this resolution is to be given to the secretary of the board. Motion to approve is read.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 7 as read.
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Julie.
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Supervisor Champlain.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. And now, therefore, be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. All right, I'll get that corrected. That one wasn't as bad at least. Next order of business is completion and approval of the LDSA consultant. So, what I've provided you with is, in your packet you had copies, but I have left you the completed LDSA program engineering consulting scoring based on the highest ranking. So I've asked you to review the spreadsheet to ensure there was, all my inputs were correct. And as you can see, it looked at both the weighted averages and the averages. And the overall high rating was for Stantec team number 5 at 52.5 points, but a weighted average of 8.656. And when you look at this sheet right here, I believe I shared the email with you, if you read back on the email when I forwarded it to you, I questioned whether we had to re-rank or not, because there's so many discrepancies between their forms. So for one, I did align the criteria description properly, okay, so she confirmed that, because you kind of had to, they both worded different between the two documents. And she got approval, they said it's absolutely fine, it's because we use a 1 to 10 scale. If you notice, the logistics and familiarity with the selection area and the DBE utilization was asking for a max of 5 points, and we rated 10 and 9 respectively. So it's perfectly fine. That's what I was questioning. Were we gonna have to go back? I was just
Where
gonna
did
use,
it say that we had to rate it 1 to 5 on that instead?
it's just when we got to this, and I didn't have this when we started.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
we
say
didn't
I-
have that.
I didn't see this.
So,
Yeah.
the only thing we were
didn't
asked
have
to
it.
do is actually rate the firms in a certain order.
Correct.
1 to 6.
Using this ranking.
That's correct.
Right
Right.
here.
Yeah.
And then, while we were going through that exercise, I questioned, how do we summarize this at the end? And she sent me this document and this document.
Okay.
And I guess had I noticed it then, I think I was already done, but we could have adjusted, but she said it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. I know, it seems loose, right? But that's the way it is. So, based on your agreement that Stantec is the highest ranking, and I guess I don't know if I should list them in order, it doesn't really matter, right? I shouldn't have to report that.
I think you only have to report the one
Yeah.
that's chosen.
What I'd like to do now as a group is fill this out, okay? So, based off our ratings, document strengths and weaknesses of the selected firm. So, under experience and qualifications of the pros staff, we rank them at a 9 out of 10. Do you wanna call that an excellent or a very good? Or do you wanna call excellence only when they hit 10? Cause it's very subjective, and it's, I just felt doing this together would be a lot easier, me making a decision to choose it. That's gotta be turned in with all of these documents. I would say very good, correct?
Well, if he's given the highest ranking as 10, and they're only giving us 3
Category.
categories, and if you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 being excellent, I mean, if you're gonna cut your,
That works for me. It's not that critical, but yes, that makes sense. So, everybody good with excellent in the first one?
It's fine.
Okay. Experience of the firm with federal aid, highway and bridge design projects. We ranked them at an 8, so again, that would be a very good, I think we just determined, correct? Okay. Experience of the firm for required environmental issues and community participation. They were ranked at 7.8, again, very good. Logistics and familiarity with the project area. We ranked them at a 10, so that's an excellent. And final rating,
And that includes the DBs?
so, there's only 4 categories on the
Right.
sheet, and there's.
I told you, there's
7.
inconsistencies
There's 7 there.
here.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, and there's only 4 on
I
here
know.
already.
I mean, each of the reports kind of talked about the DBE utilization, but they didn't even have that in this evaluative tool.
No, I told her, I said, there's a lot of differences, and she agreed with me, but I think they should all match. The criteria should be written identical for each of them, and the same criteria used on all 3 forms. But regardless, I think the main thing was this initial ranking that we did, and the compiling of all the data. I think we did a good job looking at the overall averages, so we can easily look at a total ranking, total average per team.
I mean, you can't go off of this sheet if you determine the final rating. I think you have to look at the scores itself, and only the scores. By my rating, it would be excellent, but I can't say the same about whether
Well,
or
no, I think,
or Jason's.
I think you can look at,
No, I think you're right.
no, I think it is excellent, but I think you could, when you look at final rating, you could also look at our total final average per team, and they're at 52.5, which is the highest out of all of them. The low will be in 41.1. I would still say it's an excellent. That's how I was doing it. Right here down the bottom of my overall ratings. And even the weighted averages, they're at 8.656, the low is 6.949. I'd still want to say the final rating is excellent. Okay? All right, so what I'll be doing is tomorrow scanning all of these documents in to New York State DOT, and I'll have to compose thank you letters, notifications to the other 5 teams. And actually, before I do that, I intend to call Stantec to make sure that they're still interested and willing. And then I'll have to do a request for proposal to Stantec to get a cost proposal. We received their qualifications. Now we need to receive what the cost is, and that has to be, once we receive that, that goes to DOT for approval.
What are the options if Stan Tech is not interested any longer? Then we go to the second?
Did we go to the second?
second?
That's correct. That is correct. What's the second one?
MJ Engineer?
Correct. Mm,
Mhm.
no,
Is it Fisher?
no, it's B and L.
That's 50.1 and MJ was 50.3.
Point three, you're right, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yep, they are slightly over. Yes, it's MJ. So, all that is, are the next steps. I was told if the proposal, when we submit it to DOT, if they feel they are charging way too many hours for certain segments of the project, they will negotiate that down. And then from there, we enter into design, I guess. Okay? Any questions that I leave any empty spots that you got thoughts on? So I should recap for the people watching this. This is for the Elm Street Culvert Project, through a New York State Bridge, New York grant. We were awarded 1.477 million, I think, just under 1.5. And it is required that we follow the processes of New York State DOT, and we had to run the project. And this was part of the process. They provided us with, I believe it was 15, wasn't it, originally? 15 total consulting firms, which we then sent out requests for qualifications to all 15 of them. And of course, in there was, in the first paragraph, or last paragraph was, if you are interested, please reply by this date. And 6 replied out of the 15 as being interested in working up here. So then the next task was, we had to form a committee, and that was the 4 of us, and we independently reviewed these documents. It was really quite a job. Cover to cover, and using a spreadsheet provided by DOT, we did a 1 to 10 ranking on every category of criteria, and we have just chosen the engineering firm of choice by that process, which I think was very independently ran, and I think we did a good job. Now the next thing we will do is a request for proposal to them.
I
All right.
find it just to make a side note, I find it very interesting that all 4 of us came up with that Stantec as the top.
I know.
And we
And
did
it was
all-
close, as you said, on the next 2 are right
It's close,
shoulder to shoulder.
but that one was the one that stood out, so I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's why I think it was such a good exercise. Tedious.
Wasn't fun.
No, it wasn't fun.
No.
Oh, I don't know, I thought it was kind of fun.
Of course you would. Financial guy.
All right, moving along here. Where was I? Approval of the utility detailed billing register for the water bills.
I'll make a motion that we approve the water report, which was in, on pages 74 through 93 of our agenda book. Total accounts 182, total units 210. The total water usage was 2,668,000, and the total sewer usage was 780,000.
Correct. And of course, that is because not all sewer districts are within the water district.
Correct.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
And there's no changes in the prior. Usually you ask that, Jason.
I do.
I jump in this.
It's
one.
okay.
We usually do roll call on it?
No.
We just a motion, right?
Recall doing
Yeah,
it.
I know, I always ask that. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next thing is the JCO agreement for 2025. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to read it, but I did request several revisions in the agreement after I received it, to make it clear that the second party, which is town, pays the fees, pays the cost of this contract, and the third party, being the village, provides the space, the internet, the phone, because it was not clear before, it was just two parties. It looked like we were sharing the cost.
Tom, can you kind of share with the constituents in terms of like, what this does for people in the community that in fact actually have these needs?
So, I mean, primarily, it's, you can go there to file for your heat, receive food, groceries, rides to doctor's appointments can be provided. I'm trying to, can also, there's a separate application, but for like Christmas for kids is done through that office. And there's one other, what is it? 'Cause it doesn't list it in the
No, it
contract,
doesn't
of
list it.
course. I do wanna point out, because people may notice, it already started this year, I received a call last week. They are allowing people from Moores and Moores Forks who do not have an outreach center. They, in the past, had to drive to Plattsburgh in order to get assistance. Due to the fact that some of these clients could not make that drive, the JCEO determined that what they would do is allow them to go to either Champlain, Altona, or Ellenburg, whichever is easier for them. I questioned if it would impact our townspeople in any way, and I was assured it wouldn't, but I assure you that I will be monitoring it. I have a plan of meeting with the mayor and with Julie at the JCEO, who runs this outreach, in about a month to see how that's going. I know that the mayor's concerned with parking for one, and the number of people in a small space, but I think I support it in theory because of what they're trying to do. How can you not support that? We just have to make sure that it doesn't negatively impact what we're trying to provide here for the town of Champlain and its two villages.
Is there designated days, or do you have to follow the actual village and town websites to see when these services are available? How's that?
Well, this office is open, what, Thursday? Should be on the village website.
I'm not sure, and that's why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
I'm not sure
I
either.
wanna be sure.
I'm not positive, but I think it's Tuesday through Thursday, but I can't swear to it.
Okay.
I wish I'd known I had that with me, but I think it's Tuesday through Thursday. But yes, you'd have to check with the JCEO Outreach Center or call the village office. They would know the hours immediately because they do house this for us. This is, in essence, a shared service in itself. But anyways, so the total is $22,248, as we agreed at their budget time that we would honor the same percentage as our employees for.
And this is
for
the
an
same
increase.
amount as what it was in 2024?
No, it was 21,600 something, so they got a 4% increase.
Oh, was it 4% increase?
Yes.
Because looking at the numbers that I had, looking at the Sarah's budget, it looked like from 23 into 24, it was up 10.5%, and 23 into 24 was up 7.1%, but I thought that we paid the same, I thought we budgeted the same amount last year, of 22,248.
No, well, I don't know what we budgeted, but I know what the contract read. I didn't look at the budget. The contract with I think it was 21,660. last year's?
You were correct.
Okay,
21.6, even.
okay. So all I need for this is a motion to approve my signing this contract and entering the agreement.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Do a roll call since there's money here. It is
Councilmember
expenditure.
Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember Southwick,
Aye.
Councilmember Bory,
Aye.
Supervisor Trombley.
Aye. Thank you, motion carries. Okay, under old business, we have the tethering law. Rick, I supplied you with 2 printed copies,
You did.
and you got shared on the email. Do we want to try to work on this in preparation for approval from the rest of the board to move forward, I guess, would be the great way to go before we start trying to enter into resolutions and public hearings and.
Correct. Yep. I think we wanna try to put something together, because I don't see the county moving forward with anything at this time.
No,
So-
and if they do, we can change later, but I don't see it either.
Right.
And there's a lot of positions open. There'll be new elected officials,
And,
a couple appointed.
the village of Champlain already has a tethering law.
Yep.
So,
And Rouse's Point,
Rouse's Point has something that's,
they're waiting for us, I
I
believe.
know they are, but they have in terms of their dog, law, they have, some language, so, but, Jennifer Jewett has done an awful lot of work
Mhm.
on this, and, in fact, the most current policy that, has been supplied to us is one that's actually been approved by the Clinton County, attorney.
Correct.
So, a lot of the legal piece is already satisfied.
Yeah, the only change I was interested in implementing is the supervision clause.
Yeah, I think she had a good idea, but again, let's put it in language first before we supply it to the rest of the council, and then we'll.
Yeah, I think you and I should meet, so,
Yeah.
so if you wanna take a good look at both of these,
Yeah.
I think the one with the supervision is the one that I wanna go with. And once we're sure, we'll supply that to all of you for review. And then I think what we need at the next meeting is an approval to move forward to put it into law, once we're all happy with it. And maybe when you and I start working on this, we might wanna run it by Jody or something, but hopefully he's doing well. I haven't talked to him recently. He called and I wasn't here earlier today, I believe. So that's a tethering law, so we will be moving forward with it, let's put it that way. And we're trying to make it so it is enforceable and livable for everybody, and sensible. Sign for Bob Vin Park, we've already
Talked about that.
talked about that. We know what the schedule is, it's designed, it's ready to go. We just need to start the work down there in the park in the spring, get a parking lot designated, then we can put a sign in. North Country Golf Course lease agreement, that got taken care of actually, that can come off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that didn't need to be there, that has been signed, we're in agreement with them. Julie, just for the next one, could you add under old business the revision I have to do to that policy? The policy was for bank designations.
Yeah, investment?
Investment policy, thank you. Yep. Yep, I'll have to look at that. I'll share it.
I'll get a copy of it and
Yeah.
take a peek.
Yeah. I know there's one section that's gotta be changed, and I'm sure once we go through it, it needs some more revision, it's old. Okay, so that's it. Anybody else have any other business for the
No.
board?
No.
Our next business meeting is scheduled for February 11th, 2025. Everyone have a good month. Well, I welcome a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 8:27. Not horrible.
No, not very